Well, judges, good to see you. Thanks for having us back. Many of us take basic utilities like electricity, telephone, and internet connectivity for granted. We all know that a good internet connection has become necessary to live, play, and do business. However, nearly 40% of the world's population and 30 million Americans do not have reliable, fast, and affordable internet connections. Even me or you, goodness knows how many times we've cursed our internet providers this year when a Zoom call wasn't working quite right. We are USAT. I'm Emile Tremblay, and while you may never do business with us directly, we believe that each and every one of you will use our product in the next few years. You see, we do for satellite communications what companies like Qualcomm do for the smartphone business. The market knows how to get the entire world online, and that is through a new breed of satellites. Companies like SpaceX and OneWeb are spending billions of dollars building vast constellation of low Earth orbit satellites. They compete with the ISPs like Comcast, but they also create new markets of billions of people over countless square miles of our planet. Now, the promise here is to provide truly global, high bandwidth and affordable internet to everyone, everywhere. But one key piece isn't quite figured out, and that is the issue of user terminals or ground stations. How do you actually connect to these new satellite systems? A few years ago, the only option we had were reflectors. These are like funhouse mirrors for satellites. You point them at the tiny right bit of sky, and they can talk to a satellite. But LEO satellites move really, really fast. And so not only do you need to keep moving it to point it at that satellite, but you need two so that you can connect to the newly arriving satellite before the other one leaves your sky. So this kind of tech just doesn't really work here. It's huge, expensive, and prone to mechanical problems. Until now, the best alternative was a thing called a phased array panel. These antennas can move without moving, meaning they use interference patterns to shape the direction to which they're pointed. They're still very expensive to make and have several technical problems. And the industry has spent hundreds of millions of dollars trying to overcome these issues, and they aren't quite getting there. We use a different approach. Dr. Gabel, our founder, took a centuries-old piece of math and physics, an idea for how to focus radio signals the same way my eyeglasses do, through refraction, and figured out the new math and manufacturing techniques to actually build the thing. And so we have the USAT antenna system, which is about the size and part count of a Wildcat softball. Now, besides affordability, size, simplicity, and reliability, we have another massive trick up our sleeves. You see, imagine the sky is a book sitting on the desk in front of you in a very dark room. Now imagine trying to read that by the light of a laser pointer, one letter at a time. Lots of aiming and moving that laser. This is like our competition. Not easy to read that book. Now, USAT is more like a flashlight. We can light the entire book, the entire sky at once. And we're endorsed by the National Science Foundation. This year, we've received about $250,000 in non-dilutive funding from them and are eligible and likely to receive another $1.5 million sometime next year. Our total addressable market is absolutely staggering. If we bring 1 to 2 people online, our TAM is at minimum $500 billion, but we can't start there. So we're starting with satellite connected maritime vessels. There are about 11,000 such ships, and they currently pay about $50,000 to outfit each ship. On top of all the benefits we've talked about, we can do that for less than half that price. If we captured this market at a highly profitable but bargain basement price, we would gross $235 million. That's our SAM, or serviceable available market, for the next few years. And we think that we can earn 17.5% of this maritime market by 2025 for a SOM, or serviceable obtainable market, of 41 million. We have 1 patent pending and we'll be authoring several more as we continue our NSF-funded research and development work. I cannot overemphasize how technologically unique our approach is. It's truly revolutionary. We have proprietary trade secret manufacturing techniques. Until Dr. Gabel figured out how to make these things, this was nothing more than fancy math. This is a hard problem. And our competition is focused on phased array systems. The real dinosaurs are still trying and failing to make reflectors work for this application. I referred to a trick up our sleeves earlier. Well, I've got one more. Shortly after we started interviewing potential customers to understand our market, a major player in the industry got very interested and very serious very fast. Well, I can't speak to the details here today. We're entering a deep partnership with a leading provider in this space. With them as our partner, we will capture the maritime segment of this market. Thank you so much for your time, and I'd love to take your questions.